I also want to know what is stopping you from going to the schools and suggesting your opinions. Is it because you feel like they're silly opinions, or is it because you feel like they won't listen to you? Is it because you don't know how much power you have as a citizen, as a parent? Or is it because you just simply don't care that much? And you know what? If you don't care that much, that's cool. I'm just asking. And I expect some people to not care that much or at all, because some people, they have other things that they're more worried about, right? And realistically, it takes social change in order to eradicate something such as bullying and cyberbullying.
You're listening to the DaliTalks podcast where my mom, Dali, empowers parents like you with parenting tips. My mom's mission is to help parents make their child raising experience easier and more enjoyable by sharing valuable lessons to save them unnecessary struggles. The DaliTalks podcast is for any person already parenting or planning on parenting a child. Each week you'll hear different experts talk with my mom about important aspects of parenting, self-care, and of course her specialized area of bullying awareness and prevention. If you haven't subscribed to the podcast yet, go ahead and do so now wherever you may be listening. And don't forget to set up your alerts so that you don't miss any episodes. Let's get started.
Another child has taken their life, and the cause is related to bullying. So this child in Indiana had been allegedly bullied a lot, and the parents kept reporting it and reporting it and reporting it. Now the child is no longer here. So the school administrators are saying, you never reported it. Now, if you've been following me for a while, if you've taken any of my workshops, then you might recall that one of the things that I always advise is for you to always annotate, to keep a log, a journal, anything at all, to keep track of all of your moves, right? Who you spoke to, when, what was said, all of that stuff. Now, we can really go deep into how to report something such as bullying. But what I want to talk to you today about is really about what the solution on a larger scale might look like. And the reason for that is because after this happened, then there's been a push for a federal definition of bullying and cyberbullying. And so I have my own thoughts on this. I think it could be helpful, but realistically, I don't think that it's going to make a huge difference, because people are people. And I think that people are still not taking bullying as a serious social behavior problem. And so I've seen all these bills that have been coming up. They've been approved and put into law, and some of them say, well, now you have to, as a school administrator, or you have to report bullying to the parents, to let them know that it's happened within 24 hours of you learning of it. So if it was like 9 p.m. during dinner time while having a conversation with another colleague, and you find out that Sarah's being bullied, then it is up to you to immediately let the parents know by the next day, by 9 p.m. So the good thing about that, in my opinion, is, of course, it's good for the parents, because a lot of parents have mentioned that they didn't even know that their child was being bullied. And some people might say, well, that's unbelievable. How could that be? But kids, they will not speak about things that happen at school, sometimes to not worry parents, sometimes because they feel like it's something that they can get a handle on and they're just working on it. Or sometimes it might be because they might feel scared to tell the parent. So I wanted to ask you, what do you think is going to be the effective solution to ending bullying and cyberbullying at schools? Because it is very clear that it is not happening, that they're not doing enough to end it. As someone who got bullied throughout her childhood, I understand how it can happen right in front of people's eyes and no one sees it. or they might just think it's just kids, being kids, or acceptable behavior, and that it's not that damaging. There are people who believe bullying is necessary to build strong character. And you know what? I wouldn't say bullying is necessary, but I would say assertive kids, assertive people, um, and maybe even somewhat aggressive people are always going to teach others how to handle certain situations. And I don't mean aggressive in the sense of like super aggression, Um, and that's one of those like fine lines, that I have to walk, because I don't want people to think that I'm condoning violence at all, or that I am for bullying. I'm not. This is why I do what I do. I try to educate people so that they are aware about what bullying looks like and how to prevent it, how to build up that confidence in their children so that they're able to defend themselves and advocate for themselves, and just like be less of a target, because of course bullies will always go for the person that looks the weakest, right? So yeah, these laws do you feel that they're actually making a change? If you live in these states that have been pushing more and more and more for these anti-bullying laws, I would love to hear your thoughts on it. I'd love to hear if you have noticed a difference at the school, because you know what? You can write the best federal law you know, that bans something, anything at all. But if it is not implemented correctly, then it's going to fail. It's not going to do what it's meant to do, right? So, when you have children of the age of 10 years old taking their lives, and I know that the youngest that I've read about was 6. That's really, really young. So how do we keep these children safe, and how do we strengthen that mindset? Because it's, a lot of people say, oh, it's just what you allow into your head. Other people's opinion of you should not matter. It's none of your business. I agree with that. But the reality is that not everybody has that type of mindset, that type of strong shield around their brain and their thoughts, right? There are 2 people that I know are extremely confident. One of them in particular, I mean, by far, it amazes me when I speak to this person. This person is so good with having a positive self-view and confidence, that they, like, you can tell in their own language on how they describe themselves or other people, that they avoid using a negative word or a negative phrase to just describe something, or to express themselves about something or someone. And that takes a lot of practice. So when it comes to children, a lot of people say, oh, they're just being soft, they just need to toughen up. Okay, yeah, maybe they do have to toughen up, but you should not condemn them for not being there yet. You should not judge them. Instead, teach them, do something about it. If you have that skill and you know what it takes, then go ahead and teach it. But you see, the thing is that a lot of people won't. A lot of people won't do that because they feel like it's not their problem. It breaks my heart when I hear from a parent who has advocated for their child, who has gone to all of the echelons trying to get some help for their child, and nothing happens. One of the biggest undertaking, I think, that legislators are going to struggle with for a long, long time is stopping cyberbullying, because social media is enormous. It is infinite, and you cannot stop people doing what they're going to do online, right? People feel so protected behind a screen. They feel like they have the right to say whatever it is that they want to say. But our children are being allowed into this basis, without being prepared to manage all of the chatter that goes on in those spaces. And I think a lot of people don't even know certain terms that maybe they should, or maybe that it would help them to know, such as digital literacy, online safety, the difference between monitoring tools, or the difference between adjusting parental controls and monitoring tools, and even things like slang, or like uh, the acronyms that are being used and the emojis that are being used to have conversations. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't know them all. I am constantly learning, and there's so much I can't possibly learn it all at once, right? And it's changing too. It's evolving. It's like this huge machine that just keeps evolving over time. And so what I try to do is to share that knowledge. And when I find people who want to learn it, it gives me such amazing satisfaction. But I also feel really sad and almost defeated when I find people, especially in the education field, who are completely against bringing any type of awareness, any type of prevention of bullying into their educational spaces. It breaks my heart, because I know that there will be kids who will reach out to those adults, and they will be let down because that adult absolutely does not believe that bullying is a thing, or they will allow their biases or prejudices or stereotypes within to dictate how to manage or not manage that situation. So if you were powerful enough to create a law or some type of solution to stop bullying or cyberbullying, how would you handle that? You know, I'm asking this question because so many people are so quick to judge legislators, and I'm not an advocate for them, because I don't think they're superheroes. I don't think that they're stand-up citizens. Like some people, they put them up on a pedestal. No, they're human beings just like everybody else. They're flawed. Some of them are corrupt. Some of them are just doing their best. But I know that some of them do try and have very good intentions. And so they propose bills, they propose laws, they fight for what they believe will work. And people will judge them regardless, because it is just not enough. Like the problem is snowballing quickly, right? Like it's growing so fast. And then laws, policies, regulations, all of that is just so slow. It can't catch up. Same thing with the internet, right? Or with social media. They are so enormous, and it is so much chatter on there. And yeah, they have algorithms, and I have my own opinions about how possible or not possible it is to create an algorithm that can accurately stop uh, bullying behaviors online. But I want to know from you, what what do you think would work? I also want to know, what is stopping you from going to the schools and suggesting your opinions? Is it because you feel like they're silly opinions, or is it because you feel like they won't listen to you? Is it because you don't know how much power you have as a citizen, as a parent? Or is it because you just simply don't care that much? And you know what? If you don't care that much, that's cool. I'm just asking. And I expect some people to not care that much or at all, because some people, they have other things that they're more worried about, right? And realistically, it takes social change in order to eradicate something such as bullying and cyberbullying, because it's all caused by human behavior, and everything starts at home. Everything starts at home. If we are not role modeling, if we are not talking about the issue, then kids are not going to learn. Kids are going to do what they think is cool or trending at the time, or They will do whatever it takes to impress someone, even if that thing is something negative. All right. Well, that's my message for today. I wanted to touch on that, and I want to challenge you to look up if there are any laws against bullying in your state. And if you do find that, let me know. Let me know. I mean, I know there's a lot of them out there in every state. And some are good, some are, but what do you think about the ones in your state? Do you feel like it is that they are strong enough? Do you feel like they are just useless words? And then let me know if you decide to take it further and maybe reach out to the legislators or the schools. Don't forget that, because we're in election year right now, don't forget that a lot of local seats are opening up or are open right now, and people are on the ballot for them. And I know that the focus right now is Harris and Trump. Who's going to be the next president? I get that. And it is important, right? But what is most important is who's going to be sitting in those public office seats in your neighborhood, in your city, in your town. That matters a lot more, because that's more directly impacting you. I mean, not to say that the president, whoever becomes president, is not impacting you at all. It is, but there's so much going on in your neighborhoods, in your community, that you have more power to voice your opinion and to do more, and that's going to directly affect you. So I'll leave you with that. I can't wait to hear what y'all's responses are, and I hope that you share this episode with somebody else. All right, until next time.
Hey, did you like that episode? If you did, be sure to subscribe to this podcast wherever you may be listening and write a review. If you want more tips or some behind-the-scenes videos, make sure to follow my mom at DaliTalks on Instagram. You can turn on notifications for her posts and stories as well. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. See you next time.